'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back. Glad to see you looking fresh. So, Star Wars. What a franchise, right? So many great movies, so many great games. A franchise that we all ubiquitously love and never complain about it online ever. Right? Right? But seriously, the video games from Star Wars have been as divisive as the movies have been. And not in a way of like, some people love this, some people don't love that. It's just the fact that a game will come out, it's either great or it's not great. And let's not forget the problems that EA brought the Star Wars franchise a couple years ago. Whew. But we were blessed about a couple weeks ago with a game that I would call the best Star Wars game. A game that embellishes all of the Star Wars franchise in different ways and embraces all 9 main story movies in a way that no other game has ever done before. And that game, of course, is LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Calling this video the best Star Wars game may throw up some red flags. Well, Dan, haven't you played any other Star Wars games? How on earth could a LEGO game be the best Star Wars game? Well, let me put it first that the original LEGO Star Wars 2, and the complete saga, which at the time was only 6 movies, are great games. Even to this day, they are showing their age a little bit. They did come out very late in the PS2, Xbox era, very early in the 360, PS3 era, so they are showing their age a little bit. But they're still very fun to play through, and the levels hold up quite well. LEGO games as a whole, I think, are some of the most underrated games going. Yeah, sure, they are very similar to one another, but they're more showcases of their franchises and are able to embellish their franchises in a way that movie tie-in games aren't really able to do that much. Because let's be frank, there's a reason not a lot of movie tie-in games exist anymore, and it's because they aren't very good, and because they're not very good, they don't sell very well. But the LEGO games have been able to mainstay their popularity and quality for a long, long time. We have not had a LEGO game since 2019. Now, you may think, hey, 3 years to develop a game, that sounds pretty normal. But when you think of the LEGO games, there was a time where there was like 3 of these a year. And there's a reason a lot of them felt kind of samey. It's because, well, a lot of them were, because the development time between each of them were very quick. To have this large gap in time, it allowed them to develop a whole new engine and a new gameplay system that just feels more modern. And it feels better, and we feel like we've jumped an entire new generation now. The very first game on next gen, and it's great. We're talking about the best Star Wars game. In terms of quality, this game has its faults. Every game has its faults. It's all about what faults that you're able to look past and able to look beyond and not have to focus so much on those. Because yes, the game does have its faults, and you can think of plenty of the Star Wars games that don't have those faults that may be your favorite. But let me ask, what is your favorite Star Wars game? Is it The Force Unleashed? Great game. Doesn't do all of the movies justice. There's a story of a character that has to be introduced and all this, and is, unfortunately, it's not canon anymore, so it's not even part of like the larger Star Wars canonicon. About Star Wars Battlefront 2, great game. Embellishes all the movies of its time. You can't really fault it for not doing the sequel stuff. Sequel stuff wasn't out yet. Excellent game, but again, it's starting to show its age quite a bit. I don't know when the last time you played Star Wars Battlefront 2 was, but it's definitely showing its age a little bit. Maybe you're a super old Star Wars fan and you think Super Star Wars on the Super NES is the best Star Wars game. That game is super hard and is not accessible to everybody. But yeah, that's your favorite, that's your favorite. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga fixes all 3 of the issues I just said. It's accessible to everybody. Anyone can play this game. Sure, it's a little easy, but that just means everyone can play it and everyone can have a good time. You know, it's not canon, but it embellishes the canon. It doesn't play favorites. It doesn't say, oh, the prequels are bad, the sequels are bad, only the original trilogy is good, anything like that. It doesn't play the fact that only the new stuff is good and the old stuff is boring. It plays everything to an equal playing field. It makes jokes about every single movie in equal light. Any joke you can kind of think of, the game definitely like pokes a jab at it. Any super famous gag, whether it's Jar Jar being annoying or the whole Luke and Leia being siblings, but like they kind of kissed for a bit, or any of the annoying stuff in the sequels that you don't like. The game doesn't shy away from poking fun out of the entire franchise, but also being a love letter to the franchise and being able to showcase what we love about Star Wars. You know, the fantastic lightsaber battles, Like being able to fly in a starship, just the feeling of shooting a blaster and a ray gun comes firing out. It's just fun. It's just simple fun, and it's super enjoyable. And I am going to continue to gush about this game for a while because it is a success story in a time where, Star Wars games need a bit of a success story. Sir, we've starting to turn the tide now. EA has righted some of their wrongs in their Battlefront 2, and Jedi Fallen Order is another great game. But for a franchise as big as this, it deserves better. And we've had tons and tons of Star Wars games in the past, so to finally have that time now where we have another great entry into this franchise, it's perfect. And this is probably the best LEGO game to boot. Which, if you're a LEGO fan, you probably already knew that. If you weren't, and you're like, yeah, those LEGO games are all kind of the same. Yeah, this one isn't gonna totally, win you over if you hate the LEGO formula, but it's new enough to where it might start to sway you a little bit to the better side. And you'll be like, wow, this gameplay, while feeling a little similar, is new and is fresh and interesting enough to where I don't feel like I'm just going through the motions. And this game is big. It's taken me a little under 17 hours to do all of the movies, and I've had a blast doing it. I've had a blast going through every single game. Now, of course, I wasn't rushing. I was taking my time definitely between each chapter and each little story beat, but to be able to walk through and explore these worlds is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. When else would I get to explore Naboo to this extent, to Coruscant, Endor, or, Tatooine, or any, Yavin 4. What the heck? Why would Yavin 4 ever be this explorable in a game? But it is. The amount of characters in this game is phenomenal. I can sit here gushing about it all day. Go play the new LEGO Star Wars. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is now out. And it was a game that I joked for a long time that it was going to be the game that I started the next generation console with. Unfortunately, the game wasn't out yet, so I couldn't do that. But to be honest, if it was, I would have been very, very happy with what it is now. I'm very much enjoying it regardless. So, if you haven't played the new LEGO Star Wars yet, what are you waiting for? And do you think you're going to pick it up anytime soon? Or are you going to wait till that price drops? Because a lot of LEGO games are like $20 now. $20 for these games is a steal. $20 for this game in particular is definitely a steal. So, let me know what your thoughts are on the new LEGO Star Wars game. And that'll about do it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching, and as always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.